Hello and welcome. This is Christina Hills with the Website Creation Workshop, and welcome to this training on the 5 productivity tips for working faster and smarter online. And my name is Christina Hills, and I teach a program called the Website Creation Workshop, which empowers people to create their websites in WordPress without having to rely on a webmaster web designer. All right, so what are we doing today? I'm going to go through the training. I'm going to do some live demos, and then I'll be taking your questions. So I'll do live demos in between my PowerPoints, but we're going to save all the questions till the end. And at the end, I'll give you a link for this PDF tips download. So there is a PDF that goes along with this training, and you'll get that at the end. So you'll want to stay till the end. And all right, I'm just going to roll right on into it. All right, let's start with productivity tip number 1, which is use multiple browsers when you work. So, what is a browser? And sometimes you might be thinking, oh, Christina, this is so simple. Like, why are you teaching this? I like to start everybody on the same page so that everyone has the foundational understanding of working online and having an online business. So, what is a browser? Well, browsers connect you to the internet. That's how you get on the internet. And both Macs and PCs both use browsers and all kinds of devices, right? So you might have a desktop, you might have a laptop, you might have a tablet, you might have a phone. They all use browsers to connect to the internet. Now you can also use browsers to do a search. So sometimes, and I added this slide in because I was talking to my 88-year-old mother, and she was saying, I go to Google and I find something, and she didn't realize she was using a browser. So um, Chrome is the browser and Google is the search engine. So here's Firefox and here's Chrome, and I'm going to be talking more about these. So to do a search, you open up a browser and then you do a search. All right, so which browsers could you use? There's lots of different browsers. Which ones could you use? Chrome, Firefox, and Safari are the most popular, but then there's also Edge and Opera's kind of esoteric, Brave, Avast. There's lots of different browsers. And I want to talk about having multiple browsers so that you can look at your website in different browsers. So I'm just going to step through these quickly. So here's my site in Chrome, and that's the logo for Chrome there on the left. Here's my site in Firefox. Here's my website in Safari. And I'm going to step through some of these slides kind of quickly because you don't really need to look at the image that long, and I will again go live to the internet. And here's my site in Microsoft Edge. And I don't really use Microsoft Edge very much. It used to be Explorer, and then it was Edge. I switched to Firefox and Chrome. All right, so I'm going to take this poll. What browser do you use? So you can just click on the screen. I like to have interactive calls. So do you use Firefox? Do you use Chrome? Do you use Safari? Do you use Microsoft Edge, or maybe something else? I personally use Firefox and Chrome, those two. Occasionally I'll use the others. Safari's mostly for Mac people, but you can use a Safari on a PC. And it doesn't really matter which one you use, it's whatever you're more comfortable. So this is tip number 1, to you, and I'm taking the poll. Okay, I'm going to close this. So tip number 1 is to use multiple browsers, and I'm going to explain why in a minute. Let me close this poll and share the results. So the majority uses Chrome, 53%, 21% use Safari, only 7% use Firefox, and 14% use Microsoft Edge, and the rest of you use something else. All right, so why do you want to have multiple browsers? Well, the same website can look different in various browsers, and some websites work better in certain browsers. I remember I was having a problem with an airline booking tickets, and I called them, and then they told me use a different browser. You can have, and then here's the other thing when it comes to building a website, you can have an admin view and a visitor view. All right, so what am I talking about? When you're building a website, and I teach you how to build a website in the website creation workshop, sometimes you want to have your site under construction with like a coming soon, because you don't want to want people to see what you're building. But you want to be able on the back end to build your site. So let me show this next slide. This will make more sense, and I can go through this again during the Q&A. If you're building a website and you don't want people to see it while you're building it, you can put in an under construction so that when no one is logged in, when people come to your site, they'll see, buildyourpassion.com is coming soon. But you want to be able to log in and work on it, right? So you're going to need 2 browsers, meaning you're working on it in one browser, and then you're sort of checking out what's happening in the other browser, right? So here's another one. Quest for the Divine is a website that I'm building, and I've got it under a coming soon, but then I can view it myself and see it and work on it in one browser. So this is what I'm trying to convey is you have the same website, but you look at it in different browsers, so you can look at it as the admin, what am I seeing as I'm working on it? And then also, okay, how are other people seeing it? All right, so let me take this poll. Do you currently use more than one browser? Do you currently, and you might have it on your computer, you're just not aware. Do you currently use more than one browser? So the poll is up, and because I teach people how to build websites, I really want my students to have more than one browser. But I have a tip for another technique that's coming up in a few slides if you don't want to download another browser. All right, I'm going to close this poll and share the results. So 65% do, 28% don't use more than one browser, and some of you are not sure. And I bet if you look on your computer, you might realize you actually already have it. All right, so if you don't have a second browser, you can download another one for free, right? These browsers are free. So to go to download Chrome, you go to google.com/Chrome and it will let you download it, right? So download the software to your computer. Firefox, they made it easy. Get firefox.com and then you can download it. Safari, I had a little bit of a harder time finding, maybe that's because I'm on a PC, but if you go to support.apple.com/Safari, don't worry about writing this down. You can download Safari, and then you can also download Microsoft Edge if you want to use that. You don't have to. In any case, I gave you a bunch of links. I stepped through those slides a little bit quickly. Just don't worry about it. If you forget how to download it, just Google it. How to download Chrome for a PC, or how to download Firefox for a Mac, or whichever. Just Google it. All right. This now is another way to view a website as people would view it, and it's called using a private browser, kind of private window. Chrome calls it incognito. So you can have your browser open a new private window. So let me show you where that is. If you're in Firefox, you click on these little three lines, and then it will say new private window, and it will come up looking like this. So that means the private window, there's no cookies, there's nothing memorized, it's brand new, fresh, as you know, with as if you were a brand new person to the website. So it's called a private window. Chrome calls it an incognito window. Incognito window. And I'm going to demo this so you can see it. And with Chrome, you go up to the three little dots and you look at your site incognito. And when you bring that up, then it will look like this, black. You've gone incognito, and Chrome's letting you know what it's doing. It's not going to save browsing history, cookies, any informations on forms. So it's a way to browse the internet without anything being stored or saved. Okay, so I am now going to, this was productivity tip number 1. I'm going to get out of PowerPoint and I'm going to go to the internet and I'm going to show different browsers. So hold on one second while I get out of, okay, now I'll show my screen again. So here's my website, websitecreationworkshop.com/blog. Here is that buildyourpassion.com, and here I can scroll and I can work on it, and I haven't developed this out yet, but I want to show you that if you bring up another browser, I'll bring up Chrome, and I paste this in, this is what people see who are visiting my site because they're not logged in. So by using Chrome, I can work on this on the inside, but know that it's hidden, and this is what people would see on the outside. So that is a benefit of, let me open that back up. That's a benefit of using multiple browsers. So I can also come over here and go to websitecreationworkshop.com, go to my blog, and so here I am viewing my blog in Chrome, and let me move that aside, and here it is in Firefox, and it doesn't really look all that much different, right? So these are two different browsers. It may not be fully apparent to you now why you would need it, but it's a good idea, especially like if you're going to book airline tickets and like I did and it wasn't working, you can use another browser. So I do that all the time. Now let me show you the incognito. This one is with Firefox calls it a new private window. So you should have three little lines and you can click on new private window, and now it brings up a private window. And so I can copy this URL and paste it in. So this is the second method. If you don't want to download some more software to your computer, you can use a private browser, private browsing, to see what people will see on the outside versus what you are seeing as the logged in administrator. And then let me do that for Chrome. With Chrome, there's 3 little dots, new incognito window, and it brings up an incognito window. Okay, if you have questions about that, then hold on to them when I get to the end and I take live questions. All right, I'm going to keep going here. All right, let's move on to productivity tip number 2 is to use tabbed browsing. Now, some of you might already know about tab browsing, some of you might not. It's very, very handy. So the problem with multiple windows, as you saw before, is I had to keep moving them around on the screen, and one window was covering up another window. Well, with tabbed browsing, you have these little tabs like you'd find in a file folder, and you can switch between websites. So this way you have one browser and you can be in different places. And some of you might already be using tabbed browsing, but this enhances productivity. And just type in the chat, do you already use tabbed browsing? Do you already, yes or no, do you use tabbed browsing? So while people are typing that in the chat, I teach my students to use tabbed browsing when you're building a website. So in one tab, see, this is one tab, I'm in the back end of my WordPress website, and in this other tab, I'm on the outside of my WordPress website. So I see a lot of my students are saying yes, that they learned it from me. So here are some tabbed browsing shortcuts. Control T, which will open a new tab, and Control Tab, which will switch between tabs, and then Control W, which will close a tab. And I can demo this. And then tabbed browsing gets even better because you can pin your tabs for faster efficiency. Pin them at the top. So the way that would work is you right-click on a tab and you'll pin it to the left edge of your browser window. So it makes it really fast. You can get a lot of windows open. So it kind of looks like this. See, you have these like wide tabs, and then if you pin it, it moves it over, and it fixes it to the end. So there are these little pinned tabs. Like if I want to go to my calendar, or if I want to go to Gmail, or if I want to go to Facebook, they're all pinned at the top. So I am now going to demo tabbed browsing and pinned tabs. So let me pause here and get out of, let's see, I'll go here. So let's go to, oh, here, I'll just show you how to pin this here. Or maybe I'll go to Google, google.com. So let's say you are, oh, you can't see my screen. Okay. So I've got my browser up and I have these different tabs. So the way you would add a new tab is you can type Control T and that will open it up, or you can click this little plus sign. So this is with Firefox. Let me close that incognito. So if I do Control T, that opens a new tab, or I could click on the plus, right? And then Control W will close the tab. But sometimes what I do, Control T, I can just exit off to close it, right? And so if I right click on a tab and type pin, that sticks it at the end. So I'll do that again. google.com. Let's say you go to Google a lot and you want to pin it, and so that'll stick it at the end. So that's pinning a tab. And so I'm going to right click and pin tab. That pins it. And same with right click, pinning the tab. So if you're going to, you've got your calendar up and your email up and you're working on your website and you're kind of cruising around going to Instagram, you can, do we have any Instagram lovers here? You can right click Instagram. Maybe I typed that wrong. No, so you can right click and you can pin your tab, and that pins it over here. All right, so I showed tabbed browsing, right? This is in Firefox. I showed tab browsing and I showed how to right click and pin your tab. And then if you want to close your tab, you can close up your tabs. All right, let's go back to, and I'll take questions on that at the end. So just write down any questions you might have, and I'll take those at the end. All right, so now I want to talk about bookmarking. Bookmarking popular sites. So this is different from tabbed browsing. And I actually think this is probably the most important. So I should probably have made this number one. But bookmarks are also called favorites or shortcuts. It's a way to save your favorite frequently used website in your browser for easy access, right? Like remember before I was typing in Google? It can be shown in the bookmarks toolbar or bookmarks menu section, allowing you to visit a site with a click instead of having to type the URL.
Christina,
So
we're seeing Firefox. Is that what we're supposed to see?
no, you're not. So
There we
sorry.
are. Okay.
Yes, sorry about that. I know you're probably managing the chat. Do I need to do this over again, or can I just keep going? What do you think?
No one had mentioned anything, so
Okay, so I'll just keep
probably
going.
fine. Yes.
Yes, I think this is where I was. This is where I was at. All right. Well, folks, sometimes I make mistakes too. So I had my screen frozen and I forgot to unfreeze it, but that's okay. When I demo this, you'll see what I'm talking about. So the way you bookmark something, and I'm going to demo it, is you take the URL and you drag it down. And it makes it a lot easier to cruise the internet when there's places you naturally go. Like google.com, I had to keep typing that in. And my website name, I had to keep typing that in. So I'm going to go ahead and demo bookmarks. So now I'm freezing my screen and I'm going to get out and then I will unfreeze it. So hold on. All right, so I turned my bookmarks off so my screen wouldn't be cluttered. These up here are little browser extensions. I'm not going to talk about those. I want to talk about bookmarks. So I need to come up here and turn on my bookmarks toolbar, show bookmarks toolbar, and I have a lot of bookmarks up here already. So if there's places that I want to go quickly, like I have a recipe website, and I can click here and I can get to my recipe website. Or if I want to go to the Facebook group for the website creation workshop, our club group, I can click on here. So this to me is the most used tip that I'm going to give you today are bookmarks. And you want to get in the habit of using bookmarks because You're going to be faster and more efficient if you use your bookmarks. So let me go to, so let's say buildyourpassion.com. I'm logged in, so I see this top toolbar. If I want to save this bookmark, I drag this down to the bookmarks toolbar. And I have a lot of bookmarks, so what I usually do, hold on one sec, is I right click, got a frog, and I edit the bookmark. This is in Firefox. So welcome to my site, Build Your Passion. That's the title on the page. I might shorten it to Build Your Passion. See how it takes up more space? Or I might just edit my bookmark and just change it to a B, right? If I want to bookmark Google, so let's go to google.com. I would drag this down, put it here, and it says Google, right? So in order to fit more, I will right click, edit the bookmark, and I might just change that to a G. So how did I open the bookmarks toolbar? In my Firefox browser, there's three little lines, and this is where you can hide the bookmarks or show the bookmarks. So I had them hidden and they went away. Three little tabs, bookmarks, show bookmarks. All right, let me go back to uh, Chrome. And, you know, I don't use Chrome that much, so I forget how you turn on and off your bookmarks. It seems like it shows up when I click a plus, and then I put something in here. So like Canva is something I use a lot, so this will get me to canva.com. So if I want to add, let's go to Google. So you have to go to the site. So you have to go to Google and then, no, hold on. I should have practiced this part. To add this to my bookmarks with Chrome. Joanna, do you remember how to do this since I don't do this that often in Chrome?
I think if you click on the
Press the
three,
upper right
the
three
three
dots. Ah,
dots
that's it. I'm sure it was in my
and then go to bookmark
bookmark
and
this
then,
tab.
yep, there you
Boy,
go.
that's not as easy as
I know.
as
I guess
as
you could also
Firefox.
click the little, I think you can click the little star there as well at the end of the URL bar.
Ah, yeah, okay.
There are multiple ways. I usually go to the three dots, but there are faster ways.
Right,
Control
see.
D is also the shortcut, I think it said. So
Okay, so let's go to websitecreationworkshop.com. And I bookmark my blog a lot, so let me bookmark my home page and click the bookmark. And then it lets you, okay, that's cool, the star. I can just shorten the name if I want to. Done. So now it's here, Website Creation Workshop. And these are my different bookmarks. I use Firefox mostly out of habit more than anything else. And here are all my bookmarks, but I also do use Chrome. And with Chrome, as Mike was pointing out, when you star something, it gives you the option of making other folders. So you can make another folder and you can call this search engine, and you can play around with that. with your bookmarks toolbar. You know, when it comes to browsers and the internet, there's a lot to do and learn. I would just start getting into the habit of doing something that is that's the easy next step for you. So again, since I use Firefox mostly, like I can click here and then I can get to my club Facebook group for my explorers. There's also, I have one here for the foundation group. I also have a Facebook group for the graphics creation workshop. And the benefit of this is I don't have to navigate through all the nonsense of Facebook. I can get right into my different groups for my paid programs. So, okay, let me keep going. And I've got just a few more. All right, so productivity tip number 4 is using browser shortcuts, and some of these are more useful than others. So browser shortcuts are keystrokes that you memorize to make doing things faster, such as searching, copying and pasting, and zooming in and zooming out. So this is a common one, Control F, to find text on the screen. I use this all the time. Control A is to select text, and then Control C and Control V, you probably already know that one already, to copy and paste, and then Control L gets you to the address bar top without having to move your mouse. Control plus is to zoom in and to zoom out, and Control 0 is to get back to normal. And you're going to get this in the PDF at the end. Control T, opening a new tab. I showed you that. Control Tab is to switch between tabs, and Control W is to close a tab. Sorry, I'm going backwards. Okay, you're going to get these in the PDF tip sheet at the end. Let me now get out of PowerPoint and demo these browser shortcuts. So let me get out of here. And so let's say you want to, you're at a website, and let's say you can't read the text. Control plus will zoom in on a website. Control minus will zoom out. So if you want to, and it, depending upon how your site is built, sometimes it scales with it and sometimes it doesn't. Control 0 will bring it back to normal. Now let's see, let me just look for, maybe I'll go to, this is my pin tab, and let's see, here was my article on spammers and hackers. And if you're trying to find a word, like I'll type Control F will open this search. And this searches for a word on a page. So searching for a word on a page. So if I want to search for the word spam, and then I keep hitting enter or the down arrow, it will show me a word on the page. Or, you know, did I mention my name on this page? I can X this out and type Christina. Okay, so I have on this page, Christina's at the top and at the bottom. So Control F, I use a lot. Control, and I can X to close this in the lower right-hand side. Control plus is zooming in, or Control minus is zooming out. So if I want to see, you know, how does this, how long is this article? Control 0 gets me back. Control L gets me up to the top toolbar. I don't use that one that much. I use Control F all the time. So let's come over here, and I'm coming to my case studies, and I'll go to coaches, and I think I put Sue on the websites for coaches page. Control F, Sue. There's Sue. So if I'm like, oh, I know I put Sue Perez as a case study of an amazing student, so let me find her, Control F, and I type Sue, and then it bounces you down. So it's helpful for finding things on your own website or any other website. Control F, I use that one a lot. All right, let me go back to, I hope I covered them all. Let me see my PowerPoint. Control T, I showed that. Control plus, Control minus to zoom in and out. Control copy and paste. Okay, a lot of people probably already know this. So Control C, I'm copying this, and then I can open it in another browser. Okay, let me keep going. That was browser shortcuts. Again, you're gonna get, and some you might find more useful than others. You're gonna get this PDF sheet um, at the end. Okay, so let me go to this and keep going, and you should be able to see my screen. Okay, productivity tip number 5. So I had 5 tips plus a bonus tip, and then we're going to take questions, is to use a password manager. So passwords are hard to remember. That's why you want to have a system to remember passwords for you. With a password manager, it safely stores all your passwords online and makes them available for you when you need them very quickly and easily. You don't want to just rely on your browser because it's easy to lose browser settings when the browser updates. So that happens to me sometimes. My browser updates, and sometimes I lose all my passwords that the browser has saved. So here are some password managers. Bitwarden, LastPass, 1Password, and Dashlane. And I'll put this slide up. There are different systems. Bitwarden, I think, is probably the best one to use if you've never had one before. So you'll just have to check them out yourself. They probably all have free versions. So here's how it works. Here's an example for an airline site. If you've got a password manager, you type it in, and then you'll get a drop down, and it will look up your password for you. So you don't have to memorize all your passwords. With everything on the internet, you just got to have a lot of passwords, and who wants to remember all those passwords? Is it more secure if you kept them in a pen and paper notebook on your desk? Yes, unless you lose that. So I think in terms of efficiency, having a password manager is the way to go. All right, so those were my 5 tips. Use multiple browsers, use tab browsing, bookmark your favorite website, memorize some of these keyboard shortcuts, which you will get in this PDF, and use a password manager. And then my last tip is using AI tools. So we'll send this out in the email, but websitecreationclass.com/tips PDF is the link that, and Joanna, maybe you can put that in the chat, is the link to get this um, cheat sheet that you can keep with you. Okay, here's my bonus tip, and then we'll go to questions. Use AI tools. Now, if you're like me, when AI came out, I was just like, oh my goodness, this is just like one more thing, and robots are taking over the world. And I was really, really slow to adopt to AI. The thing is AI is just not going to go away. So you might as well start using it. And sometimes I have great results with AI, and sometimes I don't. And it's like, ugh, why can't I get you to do what I want? But the way you get started with getting good at something is you just start doing it. So here's a few. Chat GPT com is by a company called OpenAI. I think when you type that in, it redirects you to OpenAI. I opened up an account and you can, type stuff in and it will give you answers. You have to be careful because sometimes it gives you wrong answers. So I did that. I asked it for some information on a topic I knew something about, and it gave me these answers, and I go, I think you're giving me the wrong answers. And it was like, oh, sorry, and it gave me different answers. So you just have to be careful. ChatGPT is one. Claude.ai is another one. All of these you need to create a free account. Um, so you can try Claude. Grammarly.com. I I've used this. I just bought the pro version because it makes it really easy to help me with my writing as I'm writing it. So, but they have a free version, Grammarly.com. Bard is Google's AI, and I'm not super keen on Google, so I don't use this one that often. But sometimes when you try these different tools, you might get different results. Um, um, I use Google products. Do I trust Google? No, especially because I don't know if you remember this, but Google used to have a tagline, do no evil, and then they dropped it. So their tagline was do no evil, and then they dropped that tagline. So that kind of says a lot. But it does make our life easier, so I do use Google products. Anyway, AI is still growing and changing, so don't spend a lot of money. Get started with the free stuff, and you'll get more comfortable with it. And then, if it makes sense, then pay for it. Um, and Gary's pointing out that Bard has a new name, Gemini. I thought they were two different things, but you could be right. As you can see, I don't use the Google version. All right, so I want to let you all know about my next training that is coming up. So if you are new to my world, you're going to want to go to websitecreationclass.com/webinars. If you are a student or an existing student, you don't need to come to this because you're already in the course. But I'm going to be running 3 webinars. They'll be the same webinar, just the Q&A will be different. And it's my easily create a beautiful website in WordPress, even if you hate technology. And that'll be a preview of the website creation workshop. And if you want to get on the notification list, you can go to websitecreationclass.com. And then here is my link. We'll send this out in an email so you don't have to worry about writing it down for the tips PDF. And this concludes my 5 productivity tips for working faster and smarter online. My name is Christina Hills. All right, let us go to questions. And I'll keep this up.
Okay, so let me just pull up the questions here. When you were talking about bookmarks, Gary was wondering, how can you search your bookmarks? Because he says he has 3,000.
I don't do that very often, so I don't recall how to search. Here, search bookmarks, and then you can type something in.
Oh, we can't see your screen.
Okay, thank you. All right, so if you want, with Firefox, if you want to search your bookmarks, type in these 3 lines, bookmarks, and then there's a search bookmarks, and you can search for whatever you have bookmarked.
Oh,
Facebook, and it's showing the different bookmarks that I have for Facebook. And let's see on Chrome. I don't use Chrome as often. Where's bookmarks and lists?
You need to get into the bookmarks manager.
Bookmarks manager, thank you. And then you can search your bookmarks. And I have a lot of bookmarks, and then my extra ones come down this long list. But recently I started putting them in folders. So now I have, and I'm probably going to do that for Facebook. I'll probably put these all in folders if your bookmarks get really long. Okay, great question.
Okay. And a different Joanna, not me, says that in Safari, you can go to your bookmarks, edit bookmarks, and then you can search from there. So,
You can edit your, yeah,
okay,
I don't have Safari on this, I don't have Safari on this machine because this is a PC.
right.
This is this is to get notified for the next website creation workshop class. And then webinars is for people who have never taken the website creation workshop. You want to click and sign up for one of these 3 days, and we'll send an email out about that. Okay, let me
Okay.
bring this back up.
So when you were talking about tabs and pinning tabs, Liz was asking, it appears that to keep a tab open, we must pin it. Is that true?
You don't have to, it depends how your browser is set. Like my browser is set to remember all my tabs. So in Chrome, I have it set so when I close Chrome, it forgets all my tabs. So if I open Chrome back up again, it has forgotten all my tabs. That's why you want to have bookmarks. But I have set Firefox up to remember all my tabs.
Okay. Now, Diana is using Apple, and she's wondering what's the easiest way to figure out which tabs to delete when you have hundreds open.
Okay, so if you have,
Do you have any tips on that?
yeah, so if you have, so maybe I'm going to Amazon. If you've got a ton of tabs open, then like I'm just going to open a lot, and it just starts to get like really, really, really crowded when you have a lot of, see, they start to squish down, and I'm just trying to think of where I could go. I'll bring this one up. So how do you know what to close? Well, if you're not, if I'm done shopping on Amazon, I'll just close it out. And sometimes I have too many tabs open, so I close everything and just start over. It's like, okay, my brain is too cluttered. I've got too much going on here. I'm just going to close everything and then start over. But it'll save these pinned ones are saved until I unpin them. Let me just verify that. I closed Firefox. Going to open it again. Oh no, I lost my pins. Okay.
Oh,
So yeah,
that's my pins stay on my browser, so maybe that's something in the
maybe it's a
settings.
setting. Yeah,
Not sure.
I'm not sure. Could be a
Oh,
setting. So
okay.
like I have AI pinned ChatGPT, and I log in often enough so it remembers um, being logged into it. Okay, let me go to,
So on remembering tabs, you mentioned there's a way to have your browser remember your tabs. So when you open it, it picks up right where you left off. Mary Ann said, how do I set up Chrome to remember tabs?
okay, well, I don't have that memorized, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. So let's um, go to my blog, and let's go to Google, and I'll close this. So I don't know, so I'm gonna just have to hunt. Do you know off the top of your head, save and share?
It's in settings. Second to the bottom there. Oh boy.
Yeah, default browser. I wasn't prepared for that. Okay, so let's just ask Google how to have Chrome remember your tabs. Top right, click more. Oh wait, you can bookmark all your tabs. That wasn't the question. How to set Chrome to remember. Click settings, scroll to the startup section. Ah, that's it. Settings, startup, where's startup? On startup.
There it is.
Yeah, continue where you
Continue
left
where you
off.
left off.
So some people want to continue where they left off, and some people don't. So let's try this out. I'll go to Canva here, and I'll go to Quest for the Divine here. Oh, I think I renamed that. Okay, so now when I close this, and I don't know if I need to reboot my computer. Let's see if it'll remember. Yeah, it remembered my tabs. So
Okay, perfect.
this is the kind of thing, everyone, that you want to kind of practice and don't feel like you have to memorize everything that I taught you. Like if you can come away with something that's going to make your life easier, like I use Chrome differently than Firefox. I want Chrome to start up blank because it's not my personal primary browser. Firefox is my primary browser, so I want it to remember where I set it. Okay.
Okay. Marianne says, awesome, thank you. Now I won't have to leave them all open.
Right.
Okay. So Deborah says, I travel a lot and use different devices. Do password managers work across different devices?
Yes, and I should add that to my PowerPoint. I use LastPass, and some people don't like LastPass, but I've been using it for years. My team uses it, and it remembers my passwords on my iPhone and my desktop and my laptop. So, and I don't know, I think I paid $50 for the whole year. So you'll have to check out the different ones like Bitwarden. I think Bitwarden is probably better, um, and you'll have to see. Oh, business personal. Yeah, they have a free version, but it might not. Some of them will carry over to different devices, and some won't. Feather says one password is only 36 annually. That's a pretty good price.
Yeah, it looks like Bitwarden is free for unlimited devices.
Unlimited
It says
devices.
there,
Okay.
unlimited devices. Yeah.
Yeah. My WordPress techies all recommend Bitwarden. I got started with LastPass before. Feather's saying on one password for $36 for the year. Oh, and they're doing this per month. So you'll just have to look, use on all your devices. 5 family members. So some of them you can share, some of them you don't share, but it just makes typing in a password just a lot easier. And I can look it up on my phone. I can find passwords on my phone. Sometimes a browser's got me locked out for whatever weird reason, and I can find it on my phone.
Okay. And Denise was saying she has a password manager that is included with a different membership. So if you have some sort of a security membership, you could look and see if they have something
If
that's
they have a
included.
password manager. Yeah,
Yeah.
it has happened to me like the browser will save your passwords, but it's happened to me where then I have to update the browser, or I have to delete it and reinstall it, and then I lose everything.
Okay, so Sue was wondering if you're on a laptop and you don't have a mouse, how do you right click?
If you're on a laptop and you don't have a mouse, how do you right click? I don't know the answer to that. There's probably a keyboard shortcut. Let's see. Keyboard shortcut for right click. I've never done this. To right click on Windows, press Shift F10 or press the menu key on the keyboard. To right click on a Mac, enable mouse keys, Control M. So how to left and right click on a keyboard. All right, I'll close this out. So you can Google that because it's not something I do all the time.
Okay.
Right click on Windows, press Shift F10 or press the menu key on the keyboard. Menu key, right click, menu key. No, I never
Yeah,
do that.
Jenny was saying what I thought as well, that at the bottom of the touchpad on your laptop, you, like if you click on the right side, it'll probably go down a little bit, and that's your right click. Mine's that way. I have a newer laptop.
Yeah, I think it depends. Yeah, I'm you'll just have to experiment with that. It's not something I do. So
Okay. Yeah,
I think
Marianne
the
was saying
easiest thing
the
to
right side.
do is to Google it.
Okay,
Like
sounds good.
tabbing, let's see, where's my tab key? Tabbing is a way to get around on on a on a browser, and that's what people who are visually impaired, they have to use these techniques because they can't move a mouse, or maybe your mouse is broken. That has happened to me where my mouse died and then it was really difficult. I had to run to another device and steal a mouse because it didn't work, but tabbing can work.
Okay. Yeah, Feather was saying the same thing you said about just Googling trackpad instructions for right click
Exactly.
for the device you're using.
Exactly.
So try that
But
out, Sue.
things that I do all the time, like Control T, open a new tab, and saving my bookmarks. I have a bunch of these bookmarks here. I kind of like the way it is with Firefox because I see my bookmarks all the time. So of what you've learned today, some you'll use and some you'll be like, okay, my brain is full. I don't need to learn that right now.
Okay. Sue was also asking if you could go over the benefits of using the incognito browser again. I know you
Sure.
covered that
Yes,
in the presentation,
I
but
can do that. So
okay.
let's do it with no, Chrome, since more people use Chrome. New incognito window. So I had a friend who swore that whenever he buys plane tickets, he does it from incognito so the airline won't know where he lives because he thinks depending upon where you live, prices are higher. I've not verified that, but the benefit of an incognito window is if you want to view your site, if you don't want to download a second browser, but you want to view your site as, and I'm not logged in here, but if you want to view your site as people on the outside would be viewing it, would be another benefit of an incognito window. Or if you don't want to be tracked. See, like I've already accepted cookies, but incognito window doesn't track anything. All right, these are
Okay.
good questions.
Yes, we do have a few more. Um, Gary was wondering if you still offer the Create Your Course workshop.
Yes, and we may be running that in January, Gary. So you can just email support@websitecreationworkshop.com.
Okay.
All right, so
And then
Tracy, oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Tracy said, what do you mean log in?
All right, so let me go to, this is a site I'm building, Quest for the Divine, and I'm going to log out. So hold on, I know my screen is frozen. So Quest for the Divine, I'm logged out, and I'm now going to log in. WP-admin. So when you build a website, you are you need to log in to work on it. So now I'm logging in to work on my website. And this is one of the things that I teach in the website creation workshop is how to build your own website. So to build your website, you have to be logged in. So here I'm logged in, and this is the site that I'm creating, hoping to release it to the public soon, but I'm still building it. So that's what I mean by logging in. And when you log in, you see this um, top toolbar here. So when yeah, that's what I mean by logging in. And
Okay.
um, the next uh, website creation workshop is starting in 21 days is when it will open for enrollment. And if you've never been to my free webinar, and this one we're gonna go deep into WordPress. Today we were talking about browsers, Tracy, and we'll send that out via email as well.
Okay. Okay, so we have a couple questions from Roxana. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. First one is, if they said this may be basic, but if you build your website, who hosts that website? Or is that
So
something you'll cover next time?
I'm going to cover in next time. So you'll want to sign up for one of these. That's where I'm going to go into more about hosting and building a website. And I'll talk more details about the website creation workshop. These 3 days, there's Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, they will be the same training presentation, but the Q&A will be different. And for those students who are here, you wouldn't need to come this because you're already in the course.
Okay. And their second question, they give us an email address, healthdiet@livingwellnutritionist.com, and they're wondering, they put this in when you were teaching about different browsers. Do I need a browser, or what exactly can people reach me? I think that's probably how exactly can people reach me.
Okay, so this looks like her site. How can people reach you? So here, let me minimize my two browsers. So this is my desktop, and if I'm clicking around here, I'm on my desktop, but in order to get to the internet, I have to, excuse me, I have to open a browser. So you open a browser to get somewhere. So to go to a website, you have to open a browser. What happens is these things often are happening and you don't really realize what's going on.
Okay.
So, I'll say to my mom, hey, you got to go over to Chrome, and she doesn't even realize she's on Chrome.
Mm,
That's why these little logos are helpful. And so you notice the incognito, it has this black look and it says you're in incognito. I'll close that out.
okay. So we have a question from Matthew. Matthew says, I mostly use Firefox and all of my contacts are in there. I am starting to use Chrome more. How can I easily convert my contacts to Chrome?
I don't know what he means by his contacts. You mean people's names and email addresses? Or does he
Like
mean all of
bookmarks, maybe?
his
Not
bookmarks?
sure. Let us know, Matthew.
Yeah,
We can circle back.
yeah.
Mike says, I see Yahoo, AOL.com, and the new DuckDuckGo.com are there as well. I'm not sure where he saw that, but he's wondering, um, do you ever use those?
I do. So I use DuckDuckGo as a search engine. I think there is a DuckDuckGo browser. So yeah, here you can download the browser. So I'm just in the habit of using Firefox, and supposedly they're pretty secure, but I've also used Avast as a browser. So um, sure, I don't know it that well, but you can use DuckDuckGo. I remember doing a search on Google and I didn't like the results I was getting because I thought Google was suppressing the answers, and I went to DuckDuckGo and I got more answers. So that's Google for you.
Okay. So going back to Matthew's question, um, by contacts, he does mean people's names and email addresses for sending emails.
And I have never heard of that in Firefox. Maybe you mean you're saving it in your Gmail account, because I've not heard of how it can store it. Maybe there's a way to do it. Like, I'm by no means an expert on browsers. I just use what I need. Um, so there may be other things. I didn't even get into browser extensions because I didn't want to get too complicated. I do teach that in the website creation workshop, but I can show you one browser extension. If you want to know what the font is of something, you can add what font, and when you hover over, it will show you what the name of the font is. So I have to click on what
So,
font, Open Sans, Open Sans, Open. So anyway, maybe next time I'll add, let me exit that, browser extensions.
so
Feather
for
says you open
Matthew,
your email in the browser and your contacts are connected with your email account. Well, Joanna, have you ever done that? I've never done that.
well, that just sounds like if you usually use your email in Firefox, if you open your email in Chrome, all of that information in your email account would be there.
Right, like Gmail. So it may not be the browser, it may just be your email account.
Right. Because I know like the browser can save, like your mailing address and information, but I've never heard of using it as like a contact, you know,
Yeah.
storage place.
Yeah, so Feather is also confirming. Yeah, it's your
Yes.
email account that's saving it,
Yeah.
not the browser.
Okay.
So try it out, um, Matthew, by opening up Chrome and going to your email and seeing if everything is still saved.
Okay. Christina, I'm not seeing any other questions, and I know we're almost at quarter after.
Okay, I think yeah, this is good. So we are gonna just end this here. We will have a replay, which we will email out to everybody who opted in for this. And for my students, I'm gonna put the replay inside the course, so you'll get that in here. Um, if you have not ever been to my WordPress Masterclass training and you are not a current student, you'll want to go to websitecreationclass.com and go ahead and sign up. So you'll just pick, oh wait, I have to exit that browser extension. And you can put in your name and email and put your phone number in if you want text reminders. And then you just check this little box that says, yes, send me the information. And then you click to register. And Joanna, I'm noticing this says watch now. It should say register. If you can see
Okay.
my screen. Yeah,
Yes.
right, because it's coming up in the future. All right, thank you to Joanna and to everybody else on my team. Watch your email. Well, we'll send the replay and the link to the tips PDF. And I will see you all next time. Bye bye, everybody.